lost $1.8 million. For God's sake, dude, you filed me in your bankruptcy records. How many more times are you going to try to legally screw with me? How many times in court are you going to say that you're broke? I think at this point, you actually have a humiliation kink. Gregory, nobody is coming to save you. So you're using AI to generate yourself making out with video game characters in some sort of power fantasy. Tonight, we're going to fry you up, little man. This is you, Greg. No, not the green, full of life. The dead side of an onion. This has been sitting on my desk, ironically, since my last video I made about you. And I find it fascinating that one side is dead, one side is green. And I think there's a metaphor to be seen here that this being the side of you, representing that you are truly, utterly dead inside, okay? And you're not capable of what we would call the green side, which is known as growth. Green, growth, and change, okay? That's what the green highlights. Growth, change, and development. Instead, the other side is just stagnant. On July 14, 2026, Onision's legal claim against me in court was dismissed. You see, back in April of this year, I made a live stream, episode 27. I stream every single Thursday or Friday, once a week. I've been doing it for months. We watched 5 minutes of a 10-minute video by Onision on his YouTube channel. And with that viewing, he filed a Content ID claim. A Content ID claim is literally that. It is a claim on a YouTube video. It does not matter how long the video is. I could make a 5-hour documentary on a video on Markiplier and why he's my favorite YouTuber. In that same video, I include a 3-second clip of Onision saying, "I hate Markiplier. He's too successful." And Onision can Content ID my entire 5-hour video because I used 3 seconds of his clip. That's how Content ID works. It's a very broken system. But here's what you don't know is that Content ID doesn't determine fair use. It doesn't determine context. It doesn't determine pausing the stream, talking to your chat, notifications, it doesn't do anything. All Content ID does is identify that your content was used in some way. Whether that's 3 seconds or an hour, it doesn't matter. It doesn't take into account anything else other than identifying the content. Now, when you get one of these things, the worst part of all is that people like Onision, and this is what a lot of people know him as a copyright abuser, but this is more than that. Because when he Content IDs a video for a clip of 2 seconds, he takes away the monetization of that video in its entirety, meaning that if you made $500 off a YouTube video through monetization, and he Content IDs that video for 2 seconds, that $500 then gets paid to him. That's how Content ID works. It's a very, very broken system, and he's been Content IDing my content for literal years, and he's never gotten a penny from me because anytime he Content IDs it, I appeal the Content ID, and then it turns into a copyright strike, and then he issues a copyright strike, thus removing the video. I can then counterfile that copyright strike and say, hey, the copyright strike's still wrong, and then he has 10 to 20 days to provide a legal document, a court order of some capacity saying, hey, we're going to go to court over this YouTube video because it infringes on my copyright. Now, 99.9% of people on YouTube do not do this, all right? Because one, it costs money, as we're going to get into, because Onision, did you know that he spent almost $200 to keep this live stream down that I made months and months ago? Mind you, it only had 7,000 views. So very, low on the view scale. Didn't get a whole lot of it wasn't a super popular video of mine. It wasn't overwhelmingly successful. Here's the kicker, right? For the first time in history, Onision filed a legal notice on me. See, he's been doing the same thing for years. Content IDing people, taking away their monetization, stealing their money that's rightfully owed to them. And then when you deny saying, hey, it's wrong, he files a copyright strike, getting the video pulled. And look, over the years, he has done this over 20, 30 times with me specifically, and I have never allowed him to Content ID my content without me fighting it. Ever. So when I got an email from YouTube saying that my video will not be restored because he filed a legal notice, I was surprised because I am the first person in YouTube history to be taken to court by Onision in regards to copyright. I don't think he's done this with anybody. So naturally, it gets a little bit to my head. I'm like, wow, man, I feel really special that he's dedicating not only money to do this, because he had to pay money, and I'll show you this all in a little bit here. He paid almost $200 to keep this video taken down, only for it to be restored as of yesterday, which was July 21st. This video was restored by Team YouTube. YouTube literally emailed. They're like, yeah, your videos, you gave us the court order of it being dismissed, so video's back up. That $200 that you spent to keep the video down for, what, 3-4 months, could have went to, like, feed your kids, or like buy your kid a birthday present or something, or, you know, put safety locks on the window of your house to protect your kids, if you know the reference. Like $200 for what, brother? For what? For what? The video's back up on YouTube. But this is where things get a little bit frustrating and funny at the same time, okay? So Onision files this legal claim against me, and of course, we all know the meme of Onision serving the wrong Chris Hansen in court, right? He served the wrong Chris Hansen. This is like an internet meme still going on to this very day. It's a hilarious thing. He served the wrong person. Serving is the legal process, which you have to be given a legal document and saying, hey, you've been served, you're going to court, right? So Onision was given the responsibility to have me served the legal documents for the legal case of the video live stream that he took down, infringing on his copyright, right? And this is where it's funny and kind of frustrating, because it just goes to show me how, like, ridiculous the Copyright Claims Board is. They don't take things very seriously, because of the fact that this photo that you're looking at right here, this was the server, the process server that he hired. He paid money for somebody to drive all the way out to Maple Valley, Washington, and tape a document to my parents' house, because they tried to deliver it to my mom, and my mom didn't accept it. She doesn't accept mail on my behalf. So she wouldn't accept it. She's like, yeah, he doesn't live here, but sometimes he gets mail here. Yeah, I'm not accepting it. I want nothing to do with this. So the process server leaves, then comes back, tapes it to the door, and then says in a statement to Onision in the dockets that they served it and gave it to my mom, and my mother accepted the service. And then also Onision used some RCW called substituted service, where basically you substitute service by giving it to a family member or somebody to accept it on their behalf. But this never happened at any point in the legal process. This just did not happen. My parents disregarded the document completely, outside of saying, hey, somebody tried to deliver a document, we got rid of it. Like, okay. My mother, Kathy, knows who Onision is, and knows Onision by name. So, like, she doesn't want anything to do with me in regards to him, period. So she did not accept anything. She told him to go away. And then they leave it on the house with a sticker that says, give to me. Mind you, I live almost 3 hours away from them. I ain't driving 3 hours to pick up a piece of paper or to go through a trash can of them throwing away something. So even to this very day, I never actually received the legal document in hand. But the Copyright Claims Board, even though I brought this up, I sent them an email. I'm like, hey, what is this? This is like a taped document to a door. This doesn't really count as legal service. The Copyright Claims Board didn't care, and they accepted it. So I'm like, okay, so I guess we're going to court then, because I've been officially served, only to find out that when I submitted my documents to rebuttal Onision in court, they're like, yeah, you have to wait for the claim to be valid. And I'm like, wait, hold up. So me being served doesn't make the claim valid? In normal court, that's how it works. In Copyright Claims Court, no. I get served, and then I have to wait 60 days for the claim to become active. Then once it's active, then I can submit my documents, and then he gets 60 days, and then I get another 60 days to do the same thing back and forth, 60 days, so months and months, and then a copyright dude lawyer sits down and makes a determination if it's copyright infringement, blah, 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 whatever. Now, what I didn't know, and what I found out through my lawyer, is that there's an opt-out process. This is something that normal federal court you can't do. But the fact of the matter is, A, he lied to the Copyright Claims Board about how the service was done, and he got the person who served the legal documents who lie because, one, I never received them. Two, my parents never accepted it on my behalf. They would never do that for anyone or anything. They don't do things like that. They want nothing to do with internet stuff, and yet the process server literally says that they gave it to my mom. It's like, well, if I had the document, I'd be showing it to you right now, physically. Just like I did last time, back in 2020 when he took me to court. In total, he spent almost $200 between having to pay the processor guy and then just to tape it on the door and leave. All the filing fees, he spent almost $200, guys. $200 to keep a video down for a couple months, only for it to be restored by YouTube. I talked to my lawyer about this, and I was recommended to simply just opt out. That's right, the Copyright Claims Board allows you to opt out of a legal proceeding, something that other court things don't allow you to do, and then the claim just gets dismissed without prejudice, and it goes away. And you can't refile the same thing in the Copyright Claims Board against me again. So not only did you use AI to write out your legal response, you wasted $200 to keep a video removed that was only simply restored because I opted out of a legal proceeding because I found out that I have to wait. It's going to be like up until 2027 before this is done. And my copyright strike already expired, so it went away. By getting a dismissal, the video just gets restored by default anyway. So the video is currently right back up on YouTube. So if you want to see the famous stream, the live stream, episode 27, it is linked right here. You can see this. Go to my live streams, go to this, rewatch it. This is the video, the live stream that apparently Onision doesn't want you to see, that he took me to court over. So it is officially in YouTube history lore. This is the first video that Onision filed a legal notice to keep YouTube from restoring. Why? I don't know. I didn't say anything really all that powerful. And I only watched half of the 5-minute video. I really can't understand why exactly this video was the video that he wanted to go to court over, but it's finished. It's done. It's complete. And now maybe he'll take me to federal court. Gregory, Onision, if you're watching this, I would just like to make a PSA for you. If you go to Onision's YouTube channel, you'll see that a large portion, he's been making these AI short films like this. You can kind of just see from this graphic effect, him in a banana suit fighting and like flying over the highway and fighting and stuff. It's really bad AI slop, right? Him riding a bike, this really random stuff. He's like using AI to insert himself in with characters and Homelander, right? But in one video in particular with all this AI stuff, right? This AI video he made titled Onision Got Dumped, okay? Now, there's a whole scene of him like making out with this girl. Super. This is real, right? This is Onision making out with this AI character. But what's really important is this segment right here. I don't know if you know who this is from Final Fantasy, known as Cloud, the character Cloud, but he's generating this copyrighted character. And, you know, these are his old past sketch characters and stuff like that. He is taking these characters from Final Fantasy and using them in his film, just doing ridiculous things, fighting these characters. Him fighting Cloud, like right here. Look at this. Like, this is all animated and everything. So the reason that I bring this up is because this character here, Cloud, is copyrighted. And I'm a big gamer, and I have some connects at Square Enix, which is the game developer for Final Fantasy. And I just want to let you know, Onision, that I let them know about your copyright infringement for this character. That is their character that you're using in your AI stuff. I don't believe that you have the rights to use this copyrighted character in the way that you're using it. So just expect a cease and desist or DMCA notice from Square Enix regarding this, because you're going against the law without having proper permission using a copyrighted character in production of an AI movie. So I went and did my due diligence. I let my people know, my connects at Square Enix, about what you're doing here. And yeah, I just wanted to show a little bit of petty back, because like, if this is what you're going to do, and you're gonna take down my videos, well, I might as well go through yours and see your actual copyright infringement that you're infringing on a character that you don't own and that you're not allowed to be licensed to use. So kindly right back at you, honey boo boo.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Special thanks to the sponsor of the channel today. You've heard of them before, Vance Global, Onision's favorite. So if anything, let that motivate you for why you should try Vance Global. They specialize in wonderful products that will help you sleep, relax, and feel comfortable. Their diverse line of product, let me tell you, these things work wonders. But most of all, look at this, guys. The filter tip here, this tip right here, the filter, that is biodegradable. You don't get that in a lot of products. They have multiple different variations of these things, including CBD. But I already know what you're saying. Well, Daniel, I work a job that makes it so I can't try these products because it contains a certain chemical that some places and jobs won't let me have. That's valid, okay? That's valid. I get it. I hear you. However, Vance Global offers these same type of products, but in CBD format. Along with what I just showed you, they also have these. Look at these. These gummies, these things are incredibly strong. In fact, I usually have to cut them in half or separate them into fourths because these are so strong. This is known as their big bag of gummies. It is absolutely worth the price. And they also have the gummies that are CBD too. So if you can't have that certain thing in your body, in your system, for whatever job you work, government, whatever have you, they do have alternatives that doesn't have that can still comfort you, relax you, and help you sleep. And right now, if you go to vanceglobal.com, this URL right here, and you use Repsion as your discount code, you're going to get 20% off all of your orders. And if you create an account with them and use my code with an account, you'll get free shipping on top of that. So 20% off, free shipping, no matter how large or small of order. It is absolutely worth it. You guys have been, Vance Global has been sponsoring this channel for years now, and it has been one of my biggest sponsors, my most consistent sponsors. You guys love them, so of course I have to promote my sponsor on an Onision video because he hates anything that deals with the green stuff. So, you know, if you don't like Onision, this is your time. Support the sponsor, support my channel. Click the very first link down below in the description box and use code Repsion at checkout for 20% off, free shipping, and it will ship to all 50 states in America directly to your mailbox. Enjoy some comfort because you deserve it.
But once upon a time, I made like $900,000 in 1 year, and I was pretty excited about that. And then the next year we made another $900,000.
So Gregory, tell me about that. Why did you lose all your money? $900,000, that's a lot of money to make in 1 year. And in 2 years, 9 plus 9, that's $1.8 million. And you lost it all. What's the story behind that? Don't you owe the IRS like $500,000? Or did? What did you do? How do you lose $1.8 million?
And then I lost all my money. I had some problems, and I had to pay a lot of bills.
I shouldn't have to tell my viewers this because I like to think that you're far more intelligent than Onision, but don't deduct toilet paper as tax deductible. No jewelry. You get married, you buy your girlfriend or your husband some panties, some underwear. Do not deduct that. You can't write everything off on your taxes, okay? I know we'd like to, because, look, I don't like paying money to the government just as much as the next person. But you gotta be honest with the government about the things you write off.
And I had to sell my house, and then I had to sell my house again, and now I'm normal.
Welcome to the club! Welcome. Nice to meet you, Mr. Normal. I'm glad to have made your acquaintance. Thank you for now officially coming down to our level, which, honestly, I think you should go actually a little bit lower than our level at this point.
Yeah. So when you're rich, I paid someone to build my fence in my backyard for $15,000 and another fence in my front yard for another $15,000. Now I have to build myself.
All right, Gregory, I got to stop you right there because, like, wow, $15,000, that's $30,000 in fences. I don't know about you, but I've always been a do-it-yourself type of person. I will always go above and beyond to figure out how to do something rather than pay somebody to do it for me, especially when it comes to, like, house maintenance or really basic things like building a fence. And let me tell you something, as somebody who's very dyslexic, but who's very good with my hands, building a fence is really, really easy. You just got to go to youtube.com and say, look up how to build a fence. And I guarantee you that $30,000 that you spent on 2 fences, you could have done probably in 2 weeks for around $5,000 had you paid for all the supplies and things that you needed. Maybe even less than that, given when this was that you had a fence built. But regardless, that's a lot of money. 30. No wonder you're broke. You're just throwing 15,000 here, 15,000 here on something that you have the ability to learn things and become a better, more productive human
myself, or I have to get things done myself. Like I just patched my driveway myself. When back in the day when I was rich, I would be able to pay someone to do that, and it would look a lot better. But you know, when you're not as rich as you used to be, you find ways to do things in a smarter way. For example, I used to shop at the Buckle store, and shirts there can get up to $100. Like, no bullshit. Buckle is a crazy expensive store.
That is insane. $100 Buckle. First of all, I've never even heard of that brand. I'm not expert in clothing. I don't care about clothing and things like that, but $100 for a shirt, man. Clearly, I think this shirt I'm wearing right here is like the most I'll ever pay for a shirt. This was $45, and this is a really high quality shirt. It's super comfortable. It's super light. But you will never see me pay more than $50 for a shirt. In fact, the majority of when I go shopping, I go to the Goodwill and thrift stores because you can find amazing deals, and the clothing is cheap. For just incredible prices. Like, why would anybody want to shop at like a name brand store and buy a name brand? It is such a waste of money. No wonder you lost 1.8 million going to Buckle.
But I love their clothes, and I even added them to my Amazon wish list, hoping other people would buy me that, because I can't afford to just shop at Buckle anymore. And it's sad.
If you consider that the height of sadness, that you can't shop at Gucci or Buckle anymore, your priorities are so far out from reality. This is a parent, mind you, wanting you, the viewer, to feel sad for them for not being able to afford a $100 t-shirt. But here, please buy it on my Amazon wish list. Look, if you go to my Amazon wish list, all you're going to find is kitchen cooking stuff, maybe some Lego sets. You're not going to find clothes, $100 shirts. You're not going to find... Almost everything on my Amazon wish list is like practical things I actually need, or a little bit of nerdy stuff. But outside of that, like, most of it is food and drinks and things that I would use in my daily life. Not a goddamn $100 shirt. Why? Just why is that needed? Ask yourself. Look, if you have the money, you can buy whatever you want. I understand that. But, like, I do have to really sit back and... If you lost $1.8 million and you're talking about how Buckle is your favorite store, there's probably a reason why.
But that's what happens when some horrible lies about you and gets you fired from YouTube, and therefore you no longer have your primary income. F you, by the way. But podcast, no editing. What's funny is, like, can you even be mad? I just said to an abstract figure. No name. Nothing. Just and to all males and females who lie about people, like, you guys are the worst people on earth. I would say that people who lie about others are almost as bad as Hitler.
Now that is a plot twist. Somebody lying about something equaling to the absolute genocide of how many millions and thousands of people? So what you're saying is that you are worse than H. You're worse than Mustache Guy, because you have lied. I have demonstrated over the years that there are in fact things that you have lied about on the internet that is factually true.
And you know what? I don't even know if Hitler lied about people. He definitely lied about people. Actually, now that I think about it, he was framing Russia. But in my heart, I feel like people who lie about people, I have almost just as much anger for them as I do for Hitler. I just think evil to your core is evil to your core. And there's a certain point where you go there and there's no coming back. Anyway, so I don't have money like I used to. And so I have to find alternatives. I have to shop on eBay or Mercari or whatever for the shirts I used to buy and the jeans, and I buy my phones refurbished now. Like, it's pathetic, right?
No, it's actually not, Greg. It's not pathetic. Why do you think it's pathetic to buy a refurbished phone? Do you really think I want to spend like $1,000 every single year or $1,500 for a new phone? I don't need the newest phone. My phone's already almost 4.5 years old. I'm going to keep using this phone until it gets to a point where it won't update or Apple like cuts it off. I don't need it. It's not pathetic to want to save money, to not just endlessly say, oh, I have the money, let me just blow it endlessly just because I can. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should financially, Gregory. I could go out right now, okay? I could go out right now and I could buy myself a brand new Tesla. The question is, do I need a Tesla? Do I need to spend $50,000+ even though I could? No, of course not. I am happy and I am content driving my 26-year-old Honda Accord now that I had back when I had 30,000 miles, which I finally, after 180,000 miles, just got the catalytic converter finally fixed because it just finally went out. Like, my first big expense in over 10 years is that. Like, it's completely worth having an older car, not having the newest and greatest thing all the time. I would rather have something that's reliable and consistent and works and is cheap and gets me from A to B than a Tesla. It's not needed.
At the same time, I'm essentially getting the same shit. Because once you open the packaging on that brand new shiny thing you got, it's basically the same item as if you got it used or refurbished or whatever. Like, once it goes through the wash, or once, you get it in your new phone case, whatever the f*** you're talking about, it's like the same thing. The difference is the, condescending, self-righteous, superiority bullshit, right? I got it shiny and new. Who gives a f***, loser? The fact that you think that's so important, it shows how fragile you are. Like, used, new, is it smart to waste money on the packaging? Probably not.
Probably not? I would say never. It's never not. You think I'm going to go out and buy an Apple laptop when I could get a Windows gaming laptop and I'm paying over $1,500, $2,000 more for almost the same hardware that's in the computer? Because I'm paying for the brand, because I'm paying for the Apple, right? Like, look, at the end of the day, money is money. You do what you want with it. But, like, you lost $1.8 million. And this short little 4-minute video clip that I'm responding to here is very, very telling of why you lost that $1.8 million. Right now, if I had $1.8 million, I would quit my bus driving job in downtown Seattle. I would stop immediately. 1.8 million, I know how I could invest that in a way for the rest of my life that I would be set for life. I can live off of $40,000, $50,000 a year. I already do it. I have 1.8 million. I can make that last for the next 30, 40 years of my life. Easy peasy. What's pathetic is that you thought that you could lie to the government and get away with deducting things on your taxes that you can't deduct.
I am imperfect. I am flawed. There are many things in my life that I am not proud of.
Now, that's interesting, because I've never heard him say this, and this was a more recent video that they made. I have noticed in the last couple weeks, dude, it seems as if Onision, anytime he turns on it looks like he's been crying. You're looking rough, bro. You're looking rough.
I made lots of mistakes.
Have you ever expanded upon what those mistakes are? I know I'm a sarcastic a-hole sometimes, but, like, have you ever expanded on what mistakes you have actually made? And don't say, oh, I trusted somebody. Look, everybody does that. People trust the wrong people. But, like, what mistakes have you made in your life? Would you say that moving Sarah into your house was a mistake? Would you say that getting parental guardianship over Sarah was a mistake? Would you say that flying Shiloh out from Canada into America when she was under the age of 18 was a mistake? You say that having a web form in which you did in fact make a hot or not video specifically rating women on hot or not, and some of them were in their underwear, would you say that was a mistake?
Every day I think, gosh, you're ugly. I think man, you're old. I think that I suck at a lot of things. I'm just genuinely incapable of a lot of things. I have a low self-esteem more often than not. Like, my spouse will say that he thinks I'm attractive, and I'm like, what does this person see in me? You know, it's an ongoing thing.
You know what I would say, Gregory? Look, I'm going to be honest. I do not like you. You don't like me, but I think you should go to therapy. I don't know what Onision thinks about therapy. Personally, I don't know what his perspective is. But therapy was very beneficial in my own life. It does a lot of good. I'm very, very pro therapy, but a lot of people aren't.
Being a person, you know, who is almost always sad and just generally feels terrible. God, I hate that question. How are you doing? How about leave me alone?
How about you just be honest and not have to fake yourself when somebody asks, hey, how are you doing today? And be like, wow, I'm not doing good. You know, general basic formalities of asking somebody how are they doing. I can be annoyed by that myself, but I'm very also a blunt and direct. If I'm in a bad mood and I'm having a bad day and somebody asks how I'm doing, I will tell them I'm having a bad day. My dog shit all over. Had a diarrhea explosion. She ate a piece of chicken, and now for 2 days straight she's been diarrhea exploding. And then my cat now has diarrhea. Like, I'm like that, and people are like, "Oh God, I shouldn't have asked." And I'll just go on and on and on. So don't ever ask me how I'm doing, because you'll get a whole list of how bad my day went if you ask.
That's what I want my answer to always be. Just leave me alone. But this video is about context and accusations and stuff like that.
I swear to God, if this is going to be about Sarah,
I want you to imagine that you have a very loving family that you like being a part of, or you have a church that you like being a part of, or you have a lot of money that you would like to keep. You have a life that is counting on people not thinking you're some kind of weirdo. And I want you to think,
you can still be a weirdo and be successful on the internet. I just want to put that out there. You can absolutely be a weirdo and be successful on the internet. The difference between you and other weirdos is that, and look, I also think that the word weirdo, I don't think that a word's always a negative thing. I'm a weird person. Like, I don't always associate the word weird with being negative, but in your case, your level... Actually, you know what? I should just let this play. I don't know what he's going to say. This is my first time watching this, too. Like, this is a live, pre-recorded video of this, so I don't even know what he's going to say.
About what if you rejected someone, you accused them of something, or you said, I don't want you to be part of my life anymore, and that person has nothing to lose. They're very scary. And
so for context, he is talking about Sarah again. Again, for the 100th billionth time.
I want you to think about living in a society where one accusation will end your life.
End your life? Look. I have had one of the worst accusations thrown at me at one point in my YouTube career. Obviously, it was false. They admitted that it was false. It doesn't really matter. They accused me of something, like, criminal, okay? This was, what, 2020, 2021? I don't even remember the year. That's how much it's passed me. The worst thing I was accused of, like, harming kids? What? Harming my own kids? That's a pretty serious accusation, right? But the person who did it was mad. They were angry. I was happy. I moved on. And people are vindictive. People are evil. That is something that I will agree with Onision on, that he talks about there are people in this world that are evil. I agree with that. There are. When I dealt with that situation, I made, I believe, one video about it, and that video is no longer on YouTube for legal reasons. But that one video was enough. You know, if I had made video after video after video after video of talking about the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, people would start probably starting batting eye. They're like, wow, this is really, like, why is a person talking about the same thing for 6 years? The same subject for 6 years, right? Like, if I was talking about the same exact subject, how somebody did me wrong 6 years ago, all the time in every video, almost practically, I think people would start to bat an eye and be like, wow, maybe things aren't the way that he's presenting it to be. But also, the way that you present yourself, Gregory Onision, is one of demeaning of people, is very dismissive of people, is very just not a... If you're really going through something falsely, a really tough situation, the worst thing that you can do as somebody who is being accused of something falsely or being canceled is to react and lash out at the people who are watching you, whether they are supporters of you or not. Your anger, your aggression towards people about this subject, whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter at this point. The way that you deal with the subject changes the perception of how people perceive you in that situation.
One accusation. One person can say something about you, and then people will start to connect all these dots that were never really there.
No, that's not how it works. There are no dots to connect if there's not a place to connect the dots, okay? One accusation doesn't make a bunch of dots just connect. If there's a bunch of dots connecting, that's because it's been a repetitive cycle over years and years and years, and eventually people can see the bigger picture and the map that you created with the type of content that you've put out on the internet and the way that you deal with problems publicly as a public figure. The majority of everything that you have ever experienced through the online world of YouTube was self-inflicted by the way that you treat people, Greg. Even Sarah. Regardless of whether things are true or not, I'm not even discussing that. You as a person, how you put yourself on the internet makes a difference on how people perceive you. And I've always tell people, just be yourself, right? I'm myself. I don't really care how people perceive me. I don't care if people perceive me negative or positively. But at the end of the day, I put myself out there and I'm just an asshole to everybody all the time. What do you think's going to happen? Even if you are falsely accused of something, nobody's going to sympathize with you. Nobody's going to empathize with you because you're just a horrible, miserable, insufferable person at the end of the day. And who wants to be around that?
They won't look at context anymore. They won't consider the facts. They'll just say, oh, this person says something, and I don't want to be an outcast by not automatically believing them. Even when they change their story, yada, yada, believe them. Because otherwise, it's so popular to believe the right person in society's opinion than it is to believe the other person who has all the facts, who has all the documentation, yada, yada. It's so much more popular to go with the hype. And I want you to imagine yourself in that position. You know, let's say you're working for Microsoft and you make $1 million a year. And somebody says, you know, all it takes is me not telling the truth about you and your life is over. Imagine someone says that to you. Because someone did pretty much exactly that to me.
Yeah, Greg, guess what? Virtual handshake? No, I don't want to touch your greasy hand. No way. I've had somebody say the exact same thing to me. And look, I'm still here. I'm still creating content. It has not changed me. It hasn't stopped me. The only thing that has happened since that incident is it's made me really re-examine that I don't want to do YouTube as a job anymore, which is why I quit YouTube as a job in 2023, and it was the best decision of my goddamn life. And I don't regret it for a second. That was the best thing that I did. But just like you, I had somebody say to me, literally, I'm going to ruin your life if you break up with me. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z if you end the relationship. I have been there. In this regard, I relate. I understand where you're coming from. I really do. I'm not being sarcastic with this. I understand where you're coming from. But I dealt with it very differently than the way that you did. And that made a big difference.
And I want you to think, okay, what would you do for that person to get them to not make up stuff about you? What would you do? They have nothing to lose. They have no life. They have nothing going for them. And you have everything because you worked for it for over a decade. Imagine yourself in that position. Try to think of yourself in the position of someone other than you. You'll understand the world a lot more when you start thinking of, oh, what is it like to be in their shoes? Like, I can imagine myself in the position of someone who doesn't have a lot going for them, because I don't right now. I had everything taken from me. Let's say that I'm dating someone or I'm associated with someone who has a lot. Let's say Jake Paul. You know, let's say I'm dating Jake Paul. And Jake Paul is a jerk to me. Okay. And Jake Paul says, get out of my life. Okay. And then everyone surrounds me and they start saying, oh, you should say this about Jake Paul because this is what happened to you. Even though I know it didn't happen. Everyone's surrounding me and saying this. And then Jake Paul is running his mouth on Twitter and on YouTube, etc. He's talking smack about me. And I'm thinking, you know what? You're going to go around talking smack about me? Everybody's already telling me to say this one thing. Let's say initially I do a live stream and I admit to how the relation, predominantly to how things actually were. Nothing really happened between me and Jake Paul. You know, I can't say what I won't say like, oh, you know, I extorted Jake Paul. Like I was extorted, you know, like, because that's just foul. And that's what happened to me. And I just don't want to even pretend that I would ever do that to anyone. So I'm not going to even role play there. But I was extorted, right? So this person threatened to destroy my life if I didn't give them what they wanted. And in this live stream, they admitted that. But let's say I'm doing this live stream and I'm, you know, doing a tell-all. And I say...
Has somebody been watching 90 Day Fiancé, a tell-all?
What this person said about me, that they love me, that they're regretful, you know, that the relationship didn't work out, essentially. That they did extort me. They explain it in pretty decent detail. And then they go on to say they're joking. Sure, everything's a joke when it doesn't work out, right? Anyway. So then Jake Paul defends himself. And he goes on and on defending himself using receipts and everything. But everybody hates Jake Paul. So no one wants to listen to him, right? And then they say, hey, you should say this. You should say that. Hey, you should do a documentary. We'll pay you like $40,000. Whew, $40,000. This is just an estimate. $40,000 to talk smack about Jake Paul. Wow. Who would turn that down other than a person with morals, right? So then I'm talking smack on a...
So you're telling me, Gregory, if somebody offered you $40,000 to make to talk about me on a documentary on how you don't like me and how I'm a POS, you wouldn't do that? You wouldn't do that? I think you would, bro.
documentary.
At the end of the day, maybe don't date other celebrities.
And they say, you know, hey, assuming they coach you on top of paying you. Hey, if you cry, if you look really upset, that'll really sell it. That'll really make them look terrible. And so then I do cry and I do look upset, not telling them that the many other people that, you know, the person who accused me, accused in the past is probably the contributor to their actual pain and not Jake Paul or me or whatever. Don't disclose that. Don't disclose, you know, that you wanted to not exist prior to ever talking to anyone, and that they were actually allegedly, according to you, the reason that you exist in the first place because they gave you hope and kindness. Not talking about me, talking about my spouse in that context.
Okay, I was confused. I was confused there for a second. Like, what? Like, I don't think Shiloh ever
Imagine
did that,
yourself in the shoes, you know, of Jake Paul in that situation. You're watching a TV show pushed by a multi-billion-dollar corporation of someone pretending you're the worst thing ever, and they're getting paid to do it.
Did your parents get paid too to go on that documentary? Who all got paid? I literally don't know who got paid. I've heard ripples in the YouTube world of like Shiloh got paid, Sarah got paid, Edwin got paid, I don't know though. Like I don't even care. I know I was the documentary company that made Discovery Plus did approach me. I think it was Blackfin Media. They approached me and wanted me to be on the documentary, and I said no. I wasn't comfortable doing it. I didn't feel like it was right for me.
And society
But I could have been on TV again, guys. I've already been on TV a couple times.
eats it up because they're like, oh, it's a documentary. It must be true, right? Allegedly, the company just lost a defamation lawsuit to someone else that they decided to not get both sides of the story. And imagine Jake Paul receives a contract that says, hey, you want to participate in the documentary? The only catch is to participate in this documentary is you have to waive all your rights completely, and you can never sue us if we edit it out of context. We don't even have to use you in the documentary. Essentially, this is just a form that says we have no liabilities, etc. You're signing all your rights away.
Is that what he's implying? The show Discovery Plus, the Onision in real life documentary? Is that what he's implying? Like that's what happened? I don't know. I don't know anything about the production of the documentary, but that would be a plot twist if that happened. That is kind of it. It does make me question the ethics, though. Like, is that something that companies do? They'll like just pay somebody to make stuff up on a documentary. Has there been defamation lawsuits from stuff like that? I genuinely curious. I don't know.
In exchange for literally nothing. Go ahead and sign it, Jake Paul, so you can defend yourself in this documentary against Onision. Well, maybe. We can edit it however we want, and we can choose not to use anything you say if we want. But waive away your rights to defamation, all that stuff. Jake Paul would never sign that. No intelligent person would ever sign that. And then they'll say, this person declined to comment, which makes you look worse. Imagine yourself in Jake Paul's shoes in this situation. And society keeps hammering on you and hammering on you and hammering on you, using the rigged game against you. To an extent, I forgive you guys for eating up what the machine has fed you. It's
thank you. I feel so relieved that I've been forgiven by Onision.
hard to forgive you guys for not looking at onision.wiki. It's hard to forgive you guys for not looking at youtube.com/Onision in the playlist about this entire thing. It's really hard to forgive you guys for that.
All right, this is the Onision Wiki. Okay. Oh, lordy lord. All right, so I guess this is like is this all like chronological? It is. Look at this. Lucas and Onision record. What is this? Documented damages. Huh. Oh, wow. Like, it's all interesting. Well, this is something. Did he make this, or did he have somebody help him make this? Did he make this all? Like, look at all this. There's all these categories. Assault allegations. Yeah, this is so much stuff, dude. I'm not even contradictions. This is all the legal stuff. I'm actually kind of interested in going through this. I'm not going to sit here for the next 25 minutes and go through all this, but I am going to definitely read this because I am curious on looking at some of this stuff. I'm probably not going to make a video about it. I just wanted to go here and see what it was about, this Onision Wiki. But we do have a court update specifically on July 17th with 11 new docket information. Requests for production, all communications between responding plaintiff and other plaintiffs. Alleged victim, witness, source, accuser, person claiming knowledge concerning defendants. Shiloh, Adam, Courtney. I don't even know who Lane, Courtney, Chris Hansen, Anonymous Jane, Vincent Nicoltra, Billy the Fridge, Blair White, Daniel Solzbach, Edwin, Stephen Sarch, Alea, or any of person identified or referenced in plaintiff's disclosures, pleadings, media appearances, or public statements. All documents supporting any contention that any statement by either defendant concerning the respondent's plaintiff's alleged use, alcohol use, impaired driving, criminal conduct, police contact, STD-related accusations, employment history, credibility, reputation, police statements, threats, demands, harassment. What is he like SCAM? Do you see this? SCAM right here? He's requesting this? Wait, how does that? Number 4 is material characterized as CSAM, means any material plaintiff found or written as law enforcement, media, third party have described, alleged, or treated, referred to, relied upon CSAM. Unlawful material. Oh, God. Unlawful material, exploitation material, child. What? Wait, is he... Okay, so am I understanding this correct? Look, I am not a lawyer, but from what I'm reading of this, he's requesting that if this material is there to be provided to the court. I don't think you can show that type of stuff in court. Is this like a subpoena or something? I don't really quite understand. Because in this legal case, he's requesting for the production of documents. Like, look at all these. It's all like response to production, response. It's the same thing. Number 12, all this stuff. 14. Oh my God, there's so much of this. 50, 60. Did he just copy and paste? Dude, every single thing is like the same. This request is overly broad, compound, and vague. This request is overly broad, not proportional. This request is overly broad, not proportional. Dude, he's literally just dude, he's copy and pasting almost everything in the objection with almost identical. This is interesting because Gregory James Jackson, the court actually granted James Jackson a motion to compel. Basically, within 7 days after entry, there's order plaintiffs to produce to James Jackson all responsive non-privileged documents, electronically stored information combined with affirmative production statements identified in the motion, including Sarah's. So basically, it's like, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's like a subpoena, but it's basically saying any documents that you have. I think it's like a discovery thing where, like, if you're not willing to like give people certain documents in the case, you can request this. And then they're required to give it in the case, I think. But look, I'm not a lawyer. I don't even know 100% if that's what I'm even looking at. At the end of the day, he got a motion to compel. It has been granted by the court. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So that's all the Onision lore that I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to let you guys know that this Friday at noon, I will be live on my YouTube channel. Here, I stream every Thursday or Friday. It just goes in between Thursday, sometimes it's a Friday, but Friday is going to be my stream day at noon here on my channel. The stream is already scheduled to be uploaded, and I will be live interacting with you guys. And in that stream, we will be going through my legal defense of Onision that I was going to have in court had I went face-to-face and the case had not been dismissed. Had the case not been dismissed, I had a, I think, 12-page, 13-page rebuttal legally to Onision's response of copyright infringement, where I break things down in a very easy to understand way, and I'm going to show it to you guys on an exclusive, very special live stream this Friday at noon. So hope to see you guys there. All of my socials are linked down below. I want to thank you guys very, very, very much at the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for supporting the sponsor, and I'll catch you guys this coming weekend